Welcome to George Sparky Anderson Field as it begins now the second of a 7-game homestand for the Conejo Oaks as they host the San Diego Bombers for the second time this season alongside Sammy Fawn. I'm Judo Canis, and the Oaks are going to look to rewrite their woes as they head into this game on a 2-game losing streak after suffering an 11-3 loss to the Orange County Riptide and a tough 4-2 loss just yesterday versus Santa Barbara Foresters, which saw the Foresters score 2 runs in that 9th inning to steal a game and drop the record of the Oaks to 12-7. Sammy, what are you looking for from the Oaks today?
I'm looking for them to continue to make progress and continue to bounce back, and I think they did that in yesterday's game. Of course, 11-3 on Sunday, not even a close game. And then yesterday, it was closer. Both the Oaks and the Foresters had some woes at the plate and offensively and on the mound. And I think at the end, the Foresters really got into the Oaks bullpen. But I think, the bullpen's going to look to be a little more tight, a little more strict against the Bombers today. Now, the Oaks, they've played the Bombers already once this season. It was a great 10-4 victory for the Oaks back on June 8th. And for a while, we didn't even have the stats of that game because that was the day that the power was out on campus. It was really, a planned power outage, which cut the Wi-Fi. But, the Oaks, they're going to look to have a good one today again against the San Diego Bombers, especially with Gabe Howard going onto the mound today.
Certainly. Well, we have power, and we'll get things started as, like you mentioned, Sammy, Gabe Howard on the mound first for the Oaks. And batting first for the Bombers is Thomas Williams, the shortstop, the leadoff man, batting .289 on the season with 7 runs to get things started. The senior from Texas Rio Grande Valley High School, or college. As like you mentioned, this is the second meeting between two teams. The last time these two teams faced off, it was an 8-run affair that the Oaks put up in the first inning. It lasted about an hour, and the rest of the game was an hour 30 as the first pitch from Howard is inside for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, it really seemed like the rest of the game after the first inning last time was almost shorter than the first inning alone.
Williams batted .275 this past season in 54 games that he played at Rio Grande Valley as he hits that straight back for a foul. It's now 0-2. Well, for Gabe Howard, he has pitched a total of 5 innings, now making his 3rd appearance, but it is his now 2nd start. Started back last week on June 25th versus the Saints in their 10-7 win, 0-2. In there for strike 3 as he freezes Williams and gets the first strikeout in the first batter he faces.
Oh, some very quick work by Gabe Howard. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, all good locations, and saw him blaze that fastball right on the outside corner to record the first out.
Now brings up Lucas Bonham, the 3rd baseman today for the Bombers, and we'll get to your batting order as it's just 1 out for the Oaks here. It's Mikey Rocha, the DH, following up. Jeremy Jones at the right field. James Theodore, that's fouls to the backstop. Then Alan Chu, Dylan Fishbow, Christian Santiago, and Griffin Zitko filling in at the 9-hole. That is your Bombers batting order here on July 2nd. It's now the 2nd game of the month of July for the Oaks. 0-1. It's low and outside for a ball. Now 1-1.
Lucas Bonham coming off of a 6-homer season in 2025. He batted .377, drove home 57 runs.
Also been one of the stronger bats just for the Bombers all season long. Swing and a miss. Now 1-2. Well, he's recorded a hit in the 9 out of 10 games he's played. Batting .350, which is currently 2nd best on the Bombers. And leads the team with 14 hits. The 1-2. The 1-2 pitch here from Howard. That's driven to right field. That's going to be fouled off. We'll get to your defensive things for the Oaks. It's Gabe Howard on the mound. Jacob Galloway behind the dish. It's Landon West making his first start at first base. We saw my catcher yesterday. Jonah Dawson at 2nd base. Ethan Gonzalez at shortstop. Tyler Hawley at 3rd base. And from left to right, Jax Jimenez, Tommy Kendlinger, and Isaac Veal manning down the outfield for the Oaks. It's 2-2 now to Bonham.
Lucas Danuitz getting the day off today with Veal starting in right field. Certainly used to seeing him out there, but Veal we know he has tremendous speed, so he can cover.
The payoff from Howard. Swing and a miss. Down goes Bonham. It's now back-to-back strikeouts as Howard starts this game hot.
Yeah, back-to-back strikeouts. You know, every pitcher's dream to start the game. You know, you want to go an immaculate inning in your first inning when, you know, it's not going to happen in this case, but 2 strikeouts, certainly a tremendous start for Gabe Howard in his second start.
It's Mikey Rocha, the designated hitter today for the Bombers. As it hits the inside corner for a strike. 0-1. Well, the Bombers come into this game at 2-8. The Oaks 12-7. 0-1 to Rocha. As he chops that, it's going to stay fair, and Howard's going to pick it up and just tags Rocha on his way to first base. So that's 3 down, 3 up to start this game for the Oaks. We head to the bottom of the first. And the Oaks up now at the bottom of the first inning for the first time today as Tommy Kendlinger getting things started back in his leadoff position for his second straight day. He had the off day on Sunday, but he's now back to being the everyday center fielder, batting .255 on the season, 10 runs. And for the Bombers, it's Will Marangi up now to pitch, the sophomore from Davidson College, making his 3rd appearance and his first start of the summer. As he hits the outside corner for a strike, now 0-1. Well, Marangi, in 2 games that he's played, pitched a total of 3 innings, has 1 strikeout, allowed 4 hits, yet to walk somebody. 0-1 as Kendlinger pokes a ball into right field. That's going to drop for a base hit right in front of right fielder Jeremiah Jones, and it's a leadoff single to get things started for the Oaks.
Nice hitting there by Kendlinger. He put it right in a troubled spot, right in between the second baseman Santiago and the right fielder Jeremy Jones, and it was just a tough spot to track that ball down. First hit of the game for Kendlinger and the Oaks, and yeah, Marangi getting his second look against the Oaks. He pitched an inning against the Oaks back on June 8th.
Ethan Gonzalez drives one over the head of Santiago into center field for a base hit. Tommy Kendlinger is going to turn it for 3, as it's 2 singles to start the game for the Oaks and 1 already in scoring position. And Gonzalez, who came into yesterday's game with a 9-game hitting streak, but he was a pinch hitter and did not record a hit, so ended the 9-game hitting streak. But I guess you could say as a starter, he's still on a 9-game hitting streak, which will make it now 10 games. But he's recorded a hit in 10 of the 11 games he's played all season long. So now runners at the corners. Jacob Galloway up to bat. He's second on the team with 12 RBIs. Was in the designated hitter role yesterday, now behind the dish yet again. As Marangi checks at first base, Gonzalez slides back safely. Well, the Oaks right now sitting at 12-7, now 3 games behind the Foresters. It was one of those games, if the Oaks had won, they would have put themselves just 1 game behind the top-seeded Foresters, but they'll have to pull a win through here as Galloway looks at a ball and Gonzalez takes off to second. So a stolen base as Zitko could not control the ball.
Yeah, key play there for the Oaks, taking away the force play double play scenario via a ground ball. And yeah, that ball just got by Zitko, who knows this ballpark perhaps better than anybody on the field today, having just finished 3 years at Cal-Lu, just graduated this past semester.
The 1-0 to Galloway as he looks at a strike. We'll mention at the top of the program, but the Bombers and the Oaks faced off just once before back on June 8th, and that was a game where they scored 8 runs in the first inning. So it's a 1-1 now to Galloway. Drives one into left field as that's Theodore back there to make the play. Kennelinger is going to tag on. The throw coming over from left field is not in time, and Kennelinger is going to slide in safely as it's a sacrifice fly for Galloway. And the Oaks on the board first, 1-0.
Jacob Galloway does his job, drives home Kenlinger, and, you know, that ball was not hit terribly deep as Theodore definitely had a shot. He made one heck of a throw. That was an excellent throw. He gave his best effort. The throw was just a hair up the third base line, and that allowed Kenlinger with his speed just enough time to duck down and slide in there ahead of the tag. And, you know, certainly gutsy base running, but puts the Oaks on the board first and continues to build momentum.
Yeah, like you mentioned, that was James Theodore out there in left field that gave it his best shot and was a few seconds away from potentially getting that out. But it's now 1 run for the Oaks, 1 out, as it's Nolan Johnson at the plate, looks at a strike. Well, Nolan Johnson now making his first appearance in over 3 weeks. Last appeared on June 13th. First, the Barons. Currently batting .400 on the season with 3 runs, 8 hits. 0-1. Hits one fouled off to the right. Now 0-2. So Gonzalez remains at second base. Didn't move after the sacrifice fly from Ethan Gonzalez. Marangi just with 1 strikeout all season long. The 0-2 now to Johnson. Looks at a ball outside. Well, Marangi in his 2025 campaign with Davidson posted an 8.40 ERA in 10 appearances. Pitched a total of 11 innings. Had 10 strikeouts, allowed 21 hits, and 14 earned runs. Originally from Santa Fe Christian High School. 1-2 to Johnson as he chops one to third base. Williams gets under it. His throw is in time to third to get the base running Gonzalez, so it's a fielder's choice for Nolan Johnson.
Well, a base running mistake there. You see, I mean, you know, Gonzalez has great speed, but the ball being hit in front of him instead of behind him, that did allow Thomas Williams enough time to see that and make the throw to third. And yeah, Gonzalez on that fly ball, if he had tagged and went on the throw, could have been home by now, but a good out for the Bombers.
Well, Landon West looks at a ball in the dirt, now making his second appearance for the Oaks all summer. Came in his debut where he went 0 for 3 and was hit by a pitch in the loss versus the Foresters yesterday, making now a start at first base. He was behind the dish yesterday as he pops a fly ball foul straight back. Just hitting the protective ceiling Well, Landon West wearing number 44. The junior at Rice University, originally from Katy, Texas. He was AAC All-Academic in 2024. But in 2025, had 158 at-bats. It's 1-1 now to West. Runner on first as he looks at the ball high and inside. Now 2-1.
West, part of the 2024 championship Conejo Oaks squad. He went 0 for 3 in yesterday's game, was hit once.
It's Holly Dew up next for the Oaks. It's a runner on first, 2-1 to West as he pops another foul off to the right. Well, we'll already got halfway through your batting order, but with Holly Dew up next, it's Jax Jimenez on center field, Isaac Veal, and then Jonah Dawson in the 9-hole for the Oaks. The Oaks already ahead 1-0 here after a sacrifice fly into left field by Jacob Galloway that brought home the leadoff man, Tommy Kendlinger. So the 2-2 here to West. Here comes the payoff from Marangi. It's outside for a ball. Now a full count to West. Well, yeah, going back to that game all the way versus the Bombers, their starting pitcher was Max Miller, who only got 1/3 through that inning until he had to be retired for Carson Sumfield. As it's a 3-2, off goes the runner. West just chops that foul off to the left. Yeah, back on that game, there was 3 consecutive batters. Wilkes, Holly, and Anthony Thomas all hit by pitches. 5 guys were consecutively walked. So the Bombers not trying to see that happen in the first inning, but the Oaks already with 1 run. It's a full count to West as he looks at a ball outside, and he'll take his walk to first base. Now 2 on for the Oaks, brings up Jax Jimenez.
Bombers facing some early trouble. They got a little bit of relief after that fielder's choice out at third, but certainly some traffic that Marangi is building up here in the first inning. Pitched 2 innings against the Oaks back on June 8th. He did not give up a run, just allowed 3 hits.
So Tyler Hawley up to the plate now. Was probably the most productive bat. He hit 3. He was 3 for 4 versus the Foresters with 3 singles. Looks at the ball low inside. 1-0. Hawley batting .281 on the season. Second on the team with 11 runs and 16 hits, and leads the team with 14 RBIs. So with Nolan Johnson on second base, Landon West on first, another opportunity as he looks at a ball outside. Now 2-0. For your defensive things, it's Griffin Zitko behind the dish for the San Diego Bombers. Alan Chu at first base, Christian Santiago at third, Lucas Bonham at third, and Thomas Williams at short. As it's a 2-0 pitch to Holly, looks another ball outside. 3 straight balls now to Holly, makes it a 3-0 count. And from left to right in your outfield, it's James Theodore, Dylan Fishbow, and Jeremiah Jones, man in the outfield for the Bombers today.
It's 4 straight total balls that the Oaks have seen.
A hitter's count here as it's a 3-0 pitch from Marangi. Holly looks at a strike just in the outside corner. Good framing job by Zitko to bring it into the strike zone. So runners on first and second. 2 outs for the Bombers. Holly with a 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Now 3-2 up to a full count. As Marangi got it with an 87-mile-per-hour fastball.
1 strike away from getting out of this inning, and Marangi, if he gets this last out, could help him more easily build momentum in the Bombers' favor to just rebound.
Here comes the payoff from Marangi. Runners go. That's outside for ball 4. It's now back-to-back walks thrown by Marangi, and will bring up Jax Jimenez up to the plate for the first time today, and certainly someone with plenty of power. Saw him hit his first home run just a week ago versus the Arroyo Seco Saints. Sent that over the right field fence. Currently batting .220 on the season, has 9 hits and 5 runs, working on a 3-game hitting streak entering today. So it's a mound visit from catcher Griffin Zitko. He's going to retreat back to his post behind the dish.
Yeah, the way Jimenez has been swinging the bat, the way he's been developing his bat, he's becoming more and more dangerous, especially, you know, this is probably the most dangerous he's been as a hitter with the bases loaded this season so far.
One of 4 players from Oregon on this Oaks roster. He looks at a ball down low. Well, this is his first season with the Oaks. He played for the Lincoln Potters in the Pacific Empire League last summer. So getting his first crack here with the Oaks at George Sparky Anderson Field 1-0 as that's fouled off to the right, and first base coach Jose Valle has to move over not to get hit. So 1-1 now to Jimenez.
Yeah, well, the Oaks definitely, they see a lot of promising young talent on their team that's been striking early, you know, like Jimenez and Wilkes, each with a homer. They've got a lot of talent and potential.
The 1-1 now to Jimenez. So he drives the ball into right center field. It's going to bring home Nolan Johnson. It's going to bring home Landon West as the throw is not in time, as it's a 2 RBI single from Jax Jimenez to continue a dominant first inning from the Oaks as they now lead 3-0.
Fundamental hitting right there by Jax Jimenez as he pulls that one into right field, right past the second baseman Santiago. And from third, Johnson scoring easily and Landon West scoring from second. The throw by Jeremy Jones up the first base line a bit and tough for Zitko to handle, so it's 3-0 Oaks.
Isaac Veal now at the plate for the Oaks. Out in right field today as Danny Witz has the day off. We've seen Veal in both right field as well as being a designated hitter. So it's a 1-0 pitch to Veal. Runners at the corners for the Oaks. Off goes Jimenez to second. The throw is not going to be in time. A stolen base there for Jimenez. Is now 3rd of the season.
Well, I had that feeling Jimenez was going to take off for second. Thought he might on the first pitch, the jump that he got, and you know, the throw by Zitko, very close, not quite in time.
So now 2 runners in scoring position as Jimenez at second. It's Holly at third. The 2-0 to Veal. He looks at the ball upstairs, now 3-0. Veal has 4 runs on the season, just 2 hits, as well as 2 RBIs. 3-0 pitch to Veal. Looks at a strike in the lower half of the zone. Now 3-1. And well, for the Oaks, they want to get back to their winning ways. They were on a 4-game winning streak last week until they lost 11-3 on the road versus Orange County Riptide. Lost another one versus Santa Barbara Forcers yesterday as Veal pops one into center field, and Fishbow going to get under it to make the play. But not before the Oaks come out swinging at 3-0 as we head to the second inning. head to the top of the second as the Oaks got 3 of their own in the bottom of the first to make it a 3-0 game as the Bombers come on for the second time today. And the first time for Jeremy Jones, the right fielder. And Gabe Howard begins his second inning of action as he fires a fastball at 89 miles per hour. It's 0-1 now to Jones. Well, Howard comes into this game, like I mentioned, it's his 3rd appearance. And in 5 innings he's pitched, he has 7 strikeouts, only 3 walks, and is yet to allow a run or even a hit. As that's low and outside for a ball. He's the only pitcher left on the pitching staff for the Oaks that has not allowed a hit. So he's been highly effective, the sophomore from Oregon, originally from West Lynn, Oregon. 1-1 to Jones. Swing and a miss. Now 1-2. And Howard already retired the side once. It's his first season with the Oaks. He spent 2024 with the Springfield Drifters in the West Coast League. Posted a 6.50 ERA in the 7 games that he played. 15 strikeouts as that's outside for another ball. Now 2-2. One of 2 Oregon pitchers, Alex Umland and Gabe Howard, both joined the team a little bit halfway through the month of June. It's now 2-2 pitch to Jones. Swing and a miss. Down goes Jones. It's the 3rd strikeout for Howard as he continues to deal.
Yeah, Howard really showing that he's got the stuff and he knows how to change it up against the hitters. You saw him throw a breaking ball right there that just dropped in and just dropped away from Jeremy Jones.
And when you have a fastball like his that can get up to the 90s, a breaking ball can throw off a batter. So it now brings up James Theodore, the left fielder for the Bombers today, as that's low and outside for a ball. Due up next for the Bombers is Alan Chu. Theodore currently batting .250 on the season. 2 runs and 5 hits. 1-0. He punches a ground ball to short. Gonzalez's throw is going to be in time to get the second out, as Gonzalez kind of had to work through that, and the speed from Theodore put some pressure.
Also an interesting play right there because Gonzalez, he was fielding for it all the way, but Tyler Hawley was also running to it and almost intercepted him. So Hawley at the last second had to just back out of the way, and Gonzalez, once he did have that open lane, just had to make that throw in time, and fortunately for him, he did.
It's now Alan Chu working with 2 outs. The first baseman as he fouls that off.
Alan Chu had a frustrating game last time against the Oaks. He struck out 3 times.
The 1-0 to Chu. So he looks at a fastball down the middle. Now 0-2. So the payoff from Howard. Swing and a miss. Down goes Chu, and it's the 4th strikeout for Howard, as he's now retired the side in back-to-back innings to start this game. 3-0 Oaks. We'll be right back. We head to the bottom of the second inning as it's the 9-1-2 batters up first for the Oaks. It's Jonah Dawson to get things started as it's the already first pitching change for the Bombers. Will Marangi's day is over just after one inning. Leads way to Eli Yamanaka, who's making his first appearance for the Bombers this season. Committed to play baseball at Loyola Marymount University next year, as he spent 2 seasons at Santa Rosa Junior College. As Dawson punches a ground ball to second base, Santiago gets under it, and the throw to first is well in time to get the first out.
Yeah, not ideal in the first inning. You never want to, be taken out after just one inning, especially when you have a chance to rebound. But Bombers, the way they're struggling, they certainly don't want to take any chances on their pitchers in the sense that, making them run unnecessarily longer than they should. And the Oaks were certainly showing a lot of offensive promise at the plate and a lot of scarceness for the Bombers pitching staff.
So Tommy Kenlinger back up as he takes a strike. Well, he singled his first time, was also brought home on a sacrifice fly by Jacob Galloway to get the scoring started in the first inning. Now up to 11 runs on the season and 14 hits. Looks at a ball low and inside. Counts now 1-1. Yeah, it was an explosive. It was also Jax Jimenez who brought in two runners himself on a 2 RBI single. Brought in Nolan Johnson and Landon West as that's fouled off to the right. Count now 1-2 to Kenlinger. Well, the Oaks, after spending quite some time on the road, and they played 3 road games, and I'll put in asterisks 4 as they played a home game up at Ventura College. Still counted as a home game as it's a 1-2 now to Kenlinger. It's down in the dirt outside for ball 2.
Well, Ventura College is certainly home to David Solis and Yoshi Shiratori, the athletic trainer for the Oaks, as Solis, the head coach for Ventura College baseball, also a professor of quite a few subjects.
Kenlinger looks at another ball in the dirt. It's now up to a full count. Well, with that game, even in Ventura College and the rest of the road games, they're at home for quite some time. Is it 7 home games? Won't go onto the road until next Friday versus the Santa Barbara Foresters, as Kenlinger looks at a high ball inside for his first walk of the day.
I will say one thing that Kalu and Ventura College, they do have in common is Ventura College also has the VC rocks, or the sign up on the mountains like the CLU rocks, which I don't know if you can really see on your screen, but they're out beyond the left field foul pole. And it's actually a freshman orientation tradition to walk up to the rocks.
Ethan Gonzalez looks at a ball low, and you've done that a few times.
I have. It's a very pleasant walk. It's a hike for sure, but it's super fun.
So 1-0 to Gonzalez. Kenlinger on first base. Just 1 out for the Barons, or the Bombers. Off goes Kenlinger as that's chopped to second base. Santiago's throw to first is in time, but it moves Kenlinger over to second base as it's now 2 outs for the Bombers.
Well, Gonzalez does his job right there, and whether he's getting a hit or just moving the runners over, he's been getting the job done for the Oaks as he gets a high chopper to move Kenlinger to second base, putting him in scoring position for Jacob Galloway, who drove home Kenlinger via sac fly his last time up, and it wasn't a very deep fly ball. It was certainly shallow enough to be a close play, and the left fielder James Theodore made an excellent throw, but it was just a hair up the third baseline. If it had been right on line, it could have been an out.
Galloway looks at a ball upstairs. Well, he's another guy that certainly can get things done for the Oaks, and he's been doing that all summer with a team leading 14 runs as well as a 5th on the team with 12 hits. That's also now his 3rd sacrifice fly of the season. 1-0 to Galloway. Looks at the ball outside. It's going to drop out of the glove of Zitko, but able to recover and keep Kenlinger at second base. So 2-0 to Galloway. He's back to behind the dish. He's just recorded 1 hit in the past 3 games. So 2-0 to Galloway. Pokes a ball into left field. It's going to drop for a base hit. It brings home Kenlinger. And it's an RBI single as Galloway and Kenlinger, a great duo.
Certainly, and Galloway, just like Kenlinger had done his first time up, fought that ball off and put it in just a brutal spot for, it was right between Thomas Williams and Dylan Fishbow, and just really a tough spot to anticipate with the ball landing right in the middle of them, and Kenlinger with his speed easily scores from second base with 2 outs.
Johnson takes the ball outside, coming up for his second time today. Advanced on a fielder's choice. Was one of the 3 runs to score in the 3rd inning. He was brought home by a 2 RBI single by Jax Jimenez, as it's 2 outs, runners on just first for the Oaks, as that's fly ball into foul territory off to the right, and Jones just not able to get over there. It's now 1-1. And the Bombers are an affiliate, so they don't play actually any home games. So they have played all road games, as Blue is just reaffirming that it is a 1-1 count. The scoreboard a little delayed in getting updated, but the Bombers are an affiliate, along with the Philippines Baseball Group in the San Diego Wave. As that's in there for a strike. It's now 1-2. The Oaks will see the San Diego Wave on Saturday here at George Sparky Anderson Field. So the payoff pitch from Yamanaka. That's low. Inside for a ball now. Count even at 2.
Yeah, with being an affiliate certainly puts a lot of travel on your team's plate and makes for a fun summer, and also, just can make it a tougher season, as the Bombers, they're definitely facing the pressure of turning things around with a 2-8 record.
As Johnson just able to get a piece on that and foul it into the dirt. Count now 2-2. Well, as I've learned, it's kind of, as an affiliate, it's your audition year to show the stuff that you got and potentially get invited to be part, as Galloway goes off to second base. He's going to slide well in time. So he gets there safely, and now it's a full count to Johnson. So a great leadoff there by Galloway, able to explode pretty much before the pitch even got thrown from Yamanaka.
That's his first stolen base.
Johnson chops one foul into the dugout side of the Oaks. Count remains full. Johnson, the twin brother of Nate Johnson, who we have yet to see return to action after injuring his shoulder a few Fridays ago. 3-2. Johnson fouls off another one right as he continues to fight here with Yamanaka. And looking to potentially add more to what is already a 4-0 lead for the Oaks in the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, certainly a good at-bat put on by Johnson. Last time we saw his brother Nate was on June 13th on the road against the MLB Academy Barons.
3-2 to Johnson again. Looks at a ball low and outside. It's another walk as it keeps the Oaks alive here, and they now have 2 runners on, and it's Landon West who comes to the plate looking for his first hit of the season.
Well, the Oaks Express just keeps on rolling here. Keep on getting into going deep into the innings, making the pitchers work. Chance for West to add to the damage.
So runners on first and second. West grounds the ball straight to the shortstop, and it's going to be thrown in time to Santiago to make the play. And that's 3 outs, but not before the Oaks add one more. It's 4-0 Oaks. We head to the top of the third. We head into the top of the third inning as the Oaks. It's been all Oaks here at George Sparky Anderson Field. It's 4-0 as they added to their already 3-0 lead in the bottom of the second off a RBI single from Jacob Galloway that brought home Tommy Kendlinger for his second run of the day. And it's Gabe Howard back on the mound, and he's been red hot to start this game. He's retired 6 straight batters, has 4 strikeouts. As Dylan Fishbow comes up, the center fielder batting 121 on the season. Takes the ball outside, 1-0. So the Bombers yet to record a run, not even a hit. So 1-0 to Fishbow. So he drives that past Holly into left field, and that's going to get the first base hit of the day for the Bombers. And it's going to be the first hit allowed of the season by Gabe Howard.
Well, there's the announcer's jinx right there, as we have been talking about it throughout the game. But, good piece of hitting there by Fishbow as he rips that one right in between Holly and Gonzalez and reaches first. Rising senior at Stevens Institute of Technology. Hit 2 home runs in 2025.
Now brings up Christian Santiago, the second baseman today for the Bombers. Batting .250 on the season. As he shows bunt, pulls back, takes the ball outside. Due up next is Griffin Zitko. So it's the 8 and 9 for the Bombers. 1-0 to Santiago, the sophomore from Los Angeles Pierce College, playing 42 games in the past season, had 69 hits, 40 RBIs. The 1-0, off goes Fishbow. The throw is in time. And Gonzalez and Galloway able to work out another caught stealing, and I'll say it almost kind of worked out perfectly just where the angle of the ball went, as the foot of Fishbow kind of went up, and Gonzalez was able to tag it and get the out.
Yeah, where that ball was caught by Gonzalez, that's what I call tag zone. Right into the glove. All Gonzalez has to do is just catch it and lower that glove, and he's right on the foot of Fishbow for the first out.
So 2-0 to Santiago as he pokes one into right field. Veal not able to get over there in time, and it's going to drop for another base hit. So back-to-back singles to get things started for the Bombers, but with the caught stealing, it's just one runner on base.
Yeah, and immediately following up with a hit, that makes the caught stealing hurt that much more. You know, and Fishbowl with his speed, who knows, potentially could have been a third, although with less than 2 outs, you'd want to kind of wait to see where that ball is going to land, if it lands, because who knows, it could have been caught for all you knew. But, yeah, certainly a runner that the Bombers would have liked to have back.
As Zitko fouls that straight back. A familiar face. You've already mentioned it, Sammy, the 3-year player for Cal Lu, part of that SCIAC tournament championship team. Currently in the portal.
Yeah, that was back-to-back SCIAC tournament championship seasons for the Kingsmen, 2022 and 2023.
As they're going to say Zitko went around, so 2 straight strikes from Howard. It's the first time he's allowed 1, let alone 2 hits. So 1 out. The 0-2 as he checks at first. Santiago slides back safely.
As Zitko in his first year with Cal Lu, he caught 2 runners stealing. He recorded 5 RBIs, had 4 doubles among his 6 hits that year.
Here comes the payoff from Howard. It's upstairs for a ball. Now 1-2.
Yeah, and Zitko continued to break out for the Kingsmen the following season in 2024 with 4 doubles, 1 triple. He had 297 that season.
The 1-2. It's just inside for a ball. Count now even at 2.
We'll say Zitko didn't quite see as much action this past season with the typical everyday starter Eric Gonzalez as the catcher.
Here comes the payoff from Howard. It's high and upstairs for a ball. So it's now up to a full count as Zitko had to duck out of that one.
Working the count from 0-2 to 3-2. Testament to your discipline at the plate, and Zitko's definitely making Howard work, and so are the Bombers.
The 3-2 pitch here. It's low for ball 4, so Zitko able to brace an 0-2 and make it up and get the walk. So now 2 runners on for the Bombers. Brings us back to the top of the order with Thomas Williams, who struck out looking his first time at the plate. So the first real opportunity the Bombers have had today to put runs on the board is Williams, batting .289 on the season, has 11 hits and 2 RBIs, working on an 8-game hitting streak entering today. The first pitch here from Howard. As it drives it right into left field past Holly. He's going to stop at first base, and it loads the bases. As the Bombers have turned up the heat here in the 3rd inning. And it's the first time Howard has dealt with any sort of pressure.
Yeah, and the Oaks are lucky to have an out from the caught stealing of Dylan Fishbowl as Santiago followed with a single and Zitko with a walk, and now Thomas Williams pokes it through the left side, and Bombers have the bases loaded with 1 out, a chance to tie the game here with 1 swing.
It's Lucas Bonham who looks at a strike on the outside part of the zone. Still just 1 out for the Oaks as bases full of Bombers. Lucas Bonham batting .350 on the season, has 4 RBIs, second on the team, and a team leading 14 hits. The 0-1. They said he checked his swing, didn't go all around, and count now 1-1. And there's quite a bit of speed on those bases, so if Bonham is able to find something in the outfield, it might not just bring home 1 runner for the Bombers. The 1-1 now to Bonham. So he grounds 1 to first base. West is going to turn it to Gonzalez. They're going to turn it for 2, and they can't, as the throw from Gonzalez comes late. But it's going to score Christian Santiago to get the first run of the game for the Bombers.
Yeah, well, good job by the Oaks to be able to minimize the damage there. A bang-bang play at first base. The ball was certainly, in principle, hit hard enough for a double play, but throw to first just a fraction of a tad late.
So an RBI for Bonham. So that brings up Mikey Rocha. 2 outs now for the Oaks. Runners at the corner for the Bombers. Rocha hits that straight back for a foul ball. Count now 0-1. It's now the first run that Gabe Howard has allowed in his 3 appearances this season. 0-1 to Rocha. Looks at a ball low. Now 1-1. So Bombers able to cut the deficit now to just 3 runs as the Oaks lead 4-1. 1-1 to Rocha. Looks at a strike inside. Now 1-2. So an opportunity here for Howard to get out of this inning, just allowing 1 run. Runners at the corner for the Bombers.
Let's see how Howard fares or how much further he goes after this. It'll be interesting to see.
Here's the payoff from Howard. As that's grounded to short, Gonzalez is going to get under it. His throws off West from the bags. It's going to bring in another run as it's an RBI single for Michael Rocha. And the Bombers now with 2 runs in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, well, the defense fundamentals were not there. Gonzalez off balance as he took that ground ball in his throw. Takes Landon West off the base. And West realizing too late that he had a chance to throw out Bonham at 3rd, but Bombers just continue to do damage.
So it scores Griffin Zitko as the ball is live. Galloway is not going to make the throw to second as it's a stolen base now for Mikey Rocha, his first of the season. So after a strong first 2 innings, Howard has found himself in some trouble.
Yeah, perfect first 2 innings, and Bombers are certainly getting to him this inning.
It's Jeremy Jones now at the plate. The left-hander looks at a ball outside.
And the way you might look at it too, you know, in a league like the CCL during the summer where there's different pitching rules among teams and coaches, the more damage you can do against a pitcher, the sooner you're likely to see another pitcher.
The 1-1 as Jones fires that foul off to the left. Count now 1-2. And it is, we have quite a good attendance here, full of both adults and lots of kids. So a 1-2 count to Jones. Drives that foul again as it reaches into the dugout of the Oaks. A few players have to dip away not to get hit by them.
Yeah, heads up there in the dugout. There's the protective fence screen that goes about halfway up, but that's it.
Remains a 1-2 count. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Bombers. The payoff here, as that's just grounded foul.
Nice play over there at first by Landon West. Of course, it's, you know, it doesn't turn out to lead to anything with it being a foul ball.
And well, the Oaks could have gotten out of this inning. It was just Gonzalez's throw to first base was just kind of outside, and West had to reach and make the play and take his foot off the bag, allowing that base hit from Michael Rocha as that one's fouled back off to the left again. So a good fight here from Jeremy Jones, who's 0 for 1 on the day, currently batting .300 on the season with 9 hits. The payoff from Howard here. Swing and a miss. Down goes Jones in the 5th strikeout for Howard as he's able to alleviate any more damage caused by the Bombers. But we head into the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 4-2 Oaks. Head to the bottom of the 3rd inning as the Bombers were able to respond in a big way in the top of the 3rd, got their first 2 runs of the game. It was off a RBI from Lucas Bonham, as well as an RBI single off Mikey Rocha. As now the lead for the Oaks is just 2. Brings up Tyler Hawley with Jax Jimenez due up next. It's Eli Yamanaka back for his 2nd inning of action as he fits a strike in the top half of the zone. Now 0-1 to Hawley. Well, Howard had really started a great game. Pretty much perfect through 2 and then gave up his first hit of the season as well as his first few runs of the season. 0-1 to Hawley. Swing and a miss, now 0-2.
Yeah, now Gabe Howard is no longer hitless or scoreless from an offensive or from an opponent hitting standpoint. Yeah, it's definitely the most trouble he's had on the mound by far this season.
So 0-2 to Hawley. Here comes the payoff. Send the dirt for a ball, now 1-2. Well, this is the second of 3 total meetings between the Oaks and the affiliate Bombers. They will meet one last time to finish up this season on July 27th, as that's low and outside for another ball. That will be the last regular season game, and then the next week the playoffs for the South Division will start. As of right now, the Oaks are going to be in the tournament as it's inside for another ball. Count now up to full, so Hawley has worked it from an 0-2 to a full count.
Yeah, the Oaks, 2nd place in the CCL, a very strong 12-7 record, just, still a few games behind the Foresters, but they're getting there.
Hawley drives one into center field as it's going to be a single for the leadoff man. He's going to turn it for 2 as Fishbow loses the ball out in center field. Hawley's going to go for 3. The throw is coming in, and he's going to stop at 3. It's a stand-up triple. Has all sorts of misplays by the Bombers allow it to be a stand-up triple for Tyler Hawley. His first of the season.
Well, that misplay out in center field by Fishbow, the single by Holly, and then Fishbow, he just booted it. It skipped away from him, and Holly, he was able to go to third.
So just like that, the Oaks with a runner in scoring position. Now Jax Jimenez chomps that foul off to the right. So it's Holly's now 17th hit of the season after that triple. Jimenez is 1 for 1 on the day. Had the 2 RBI single in the first inning. He looks at a strike just outside, 0-2.
Yeah, the Oaks definitely a golden opportunity to take advantage of that break. For Holly, a single and a 2-base error. And Jimenez more than capable of bringing him home in any way.
0-2 to Jimenez. He hits a fly ball into right field, and Jones tries to get over there. He's not able to, and it's going to foul out just as it drops just right of the right field line.
Well, the Bombers catch a break right there. That ball was just about 3 to 4 inches from being fair, and you know, even if it's caught out there, that's an easy run with Holly on third.
So count remains at 0-2. Jimenez already extended his hitting streak to 4 games after that single in the first inning. The pitch, as Jimenez fouls that off his leg, he's taking a second to walk it off. Clearly in some pain. And it was his, I think, foot and calf that the ball ricocheted off. So a quick break to make sure Jimenez is all right, and the Oaks with Tyler Holly at third base, 0 outs. Looking to add more insurance to what is a 4-2 lead in the bottom of the third inning. Swing and a miss, down goes Jimenez as it's Yamanaka's first strikeout.
Yeah, nice rebound pitching there by Eli Yamanaka after allowing the single and, you know, suffering that 2-base error from the defense. He's able to strike out Jimenez, and Isaac Veal steps at the plate. He's got a chance to bring home a run.
Looks at a strike outside. He is 0 for 1 today. Flew out to center field. Fishbow did have to make a play to end that first inning. He didn't just get the ball in his spot at center field, as it's a 0-1 to Veal, and it's low for ball 1.
Yeah, and if Fishbow doesn't make that catch, you know, who knows how much more damage there is in the inning.
Yeah, Holly was on third base. Jimenez was on second. Now it's just Holly at third base with 1 out. 1-1 to Veal. Checks his swing, but it's going to be in the dirt for another ball. 2-1. And due up next is Jonah Dawson for the Oaks. 0 for 1 today. 2-1 to Veal here. As he takes a strike upstairs. Count now even at 2.
Nice location there from Yamanaka. Able to get Veal to look and sort of half check his swing.
The 2-2 to Veal. As he chomps one foul off to the left. And I will say the one thing about Veal is you just want to see him kind of be more aggressive at the plate. He's had quite a few strikeouts where he's just gone out looking. And while, you know, you credit the pitchers, sometimes you just want your batters to be a little more aggressive. So it's a 2-2 here to Veal. 1 out runner on third. Swing and a miss. Down goes Veal. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Yamanaka. Brings up Jonah Dawson now with 2 outs.
Well, you talked about, you know, wanting your hitters to be aggressive, and I think that was a case where you want him to be aggressive earlier than that. He got his pitch on that second strike that he took, and that was the best pitch in that at-bat for him to hit, and next pitch just dropped away from him.
So Jonah Dawson as the 9-hole today. in second base. So he looks an off-speed strike. Now 0-1. Dawson making his first start in second base since June 8th in their last game versus the Bombers. Looks at a ball in the dirt now, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Dawson. Takes the ball inside and just almost feel like it grazed his jersey. So 2-1 to Dawson. Hawley still on third base. He had the leadoff triple, but since Yamanaka has struck out 2 straight, 2-1. As Dawson grounds that to second base, Santiago able to get under it. His throw is well in time to get the third out. So after a leadoff triple by Tyler Hawley, he's left stranded as Yamanaka has retired 3 straight. We head to the 4th inning. Oaks leading 4-2. And we are 1/3 through this game as the Bombers and the Oaks. And a good one here at George Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks leading 4-2. Gabe Howard coming now onto the mound for his 4th inning of action. And had his first real struggles of the season in that 3rd inning where he allowed 2 runs and 3 hits. As that brings way to James Theodore first as he fouls that straight back. And the Oaks had an opportunity in the bottom of the 3rd, but Tyler Hawley left stranded at third base. 0-1 to Theodore. Swing and a miss. Now 0-2. Gabe Howard played 4 years of varsity baseball at West Lynn High School, where he was the #1 right-handed pitcher in Oregon according to Prep Baseball Report. The #2 right-handed pitcher according to Perfect Game. As it's a swing and a miss. Down goes Theodore for the 6th strikeout of the day for Howard as he continues to get batters to chase.
Gabe Howard, that strikeout's certainly a great rebound from his rough 3rd inning, allowing 2 runs, and all of the first 6 batters, they reached base in some way. Of course, Fishbow was caught stealing, but out of those base runners, you saw the fielder's choice, and then the error by Gonzalez that gave the Bombers an extra run.
Oh-1 to Chu as he fouls it off to the left. Hawley makes his best attempt to get over there and make the play, but the ball is well over the left field fence in foul territory. Count now 0-2 to Chu, who is 0 for 1 on today. Struck out his first time at the plate. The payoff from Howard. Upstairs and out for a ball.
Yeah, Chu, you know, he's a guy who certainly would love to see him get his first hit against this team.
1-2. Chu chops that to second base. Dawson collects on the hop. He's going to throw to first in time. Gets the second out of the inning. Brings up Dylan Fishbow, who got the first hit of the game, but then was eventually caught stealing. So 1 for 1 today, as it's 2 outs, no runners on. The first pitch from Howard. Fastball outside. Count 1-0. As he pushes a fly ball into center field, Kennelinger moves all the way to his back and is able to make the play on the run to get the third out of the inning. As it's a 1-2-3 inning for Gabe Howard, and we head to the bottom of the fourth. The Oaks still leading 4-2. Back here at George Sparky Anderson Field alongside Sammy Fawn, I'm Judo Kanyas. And the Oaks with a 4-2 lead, as it was a 1-2-3 inning from Gabe Howard in the top of the fourth. It's now the second pitching change. Jude Atley up on the mound for the Bombers, making his third appearance. He's 0-1 on the season, as he has a 3.60 ERA. 5 total innings pitched, has 7 strikeouts, has allowed 5 walks and 4 hits. We last saw him June 17th on a road game versus the Barons. It's low for a ball, 1-1. Pitched his longest game in the win versus the Barons, 3 innings. As that hits Kendlinger straight dead on into the head, and his glasses fall off. He's now in some serious pain as...
Oh, that got him pretty bad.
And we will go to a quick break as he's now being attended by Oaks trainers and Coach David Solis. And Kendlinger receives a round of applause as he walks over to first base. And yeah, he just took a 77-mile-per-hour splitter to the head. And it also appeared his glasses pretty much fell off the moment that he got hit by the pitch. And I think he had a bandage up, as it must have cut him, as immediately a check at first by Atlee.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it looked like when his glasses broke. It's hard to tell exactly what happened in live motion, but you're right. I think when his glasses broke, part of it grazed his face. I mean, I was saying during the break, if he was minimally bleeding, which looks like it's not too bad, he can stay in.
So he's now at first base as it's Ethan Gonzalez who grounds that foul off to the right. Count now 1-1. Well, we've seen guys get hit by pitches, but that's the first time we've seen someone get hit in the head by a pitch this season. And you're always a little bit more sensitive to that, as just how important the brain is, as it's another check at first base. So Jude Atlee, the sophomore from Palmore College. Off goes Kendlinger to second base, and that ball is going to get past Zitko as he's going to turn it for 2. So now just 90 feet away for Kendlinger to get the 5th run of the day for the Oaks.
Well, how about that? A wild pitch and a stolen base followed by a wild pitch, and Kendlinger with his speed took 2 bases. We saw about a week ago he had stolen 3rd on a wild pitch and tried to come home, ended up thrown out, but certainly ambitious of a try.
So 2-1 to Gonzalez as he looks at a ball low. It's now 3-1. Gonzalez 0 for 2 on the day. 1 for 2 on the day. 3-1 to Gonzalez. Looks at a ball upstairs, so it's another walk to begin this inning. As runners now at the corners for the Oaks, sets and leads way to Jacob Galloway. As Zitko now with a mound meeting with Jude Atlee. as Nolan Johnson due up next. Galloway is 1 for 2 on the day, but already with 2 RBIs, had the sacrifice fly in the first inning and the RBI single in the second inning that also brought home Tommy Kendlinger as he pops that foul off to the left, and it's just going to hit the roof over the fan section on the left side of George Sparky Anderson Field here at Ullman Stadium.
And speaking of fans in attendance at today's game, we do have the under-6 Newbury Park Little League Baseball All-Star team in attendance. That is the noise you were hearing in the stands. Certainly, I think, honestly, it might be the most noise I've heard at George Sparky Anderson Field, aside from rallies that I've seen.
Galloway pops that out into left field as the play is going to be made by Thomas out there in the shallow part of left field, and it's able to hold Kendlinger at third base. So a big heads-up play there by the Bombers gets the first out.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting to see that Kendlinger was not tagging, and I think I can understand why he wasn't, because you know, you would think that ball is either going to be too shallow or not caught at all.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, with where Williams was, he was running toward the outfield. Kind of took him a little fraction of a second to turn back, but Kendlinger was not quite in a position where he was tagging to go home. But yeah, so it's a huge out for the Bombers.
Yeah, we already saw Theodore, as that's upstairs for a ball. 1-0. And yeah, we already saw Theodore showcase that arm from left field, and that was a lot deeper as he almost got Kendlinger out. So it's the outside corner for a strike. Now 1-1 to Johnson. So I think, yeah, you're right, Sammy. I think if Kendlinger ran that gamble right there, just Williams with great arm power, probably would have been a bang-bang play at home and not rather keep your guy at third base with a guy like Johnson. Off goes Gonzalez to second base as it's fouled off to the right. So Gonzalez will retreat back. Johnson advanced on a fielder's choice. His first time at the plate and walked his second time. Has 1 run on the game that he scored back in the first inning. It looks at strike 3 as Jude Atley gets his first strikeout. And a big one as it now brings up Landon West, and runners still at the corners for the Oaks.
Yeah, 2 big outs for the Bombers, and that's the second inning in a row that we have seen them get outs in that fashion after allowing 1 or 2 base runners to reach base and reach third with nobody out.
Brings up Landon West, who was 0 for 1 on the day, as Gonzalez takes off to second base. The throw is not going to be in time. They check at third base. That's not going to be in time either. So it's a stolen base for Ethan Gonzalez. His now second of the day.
Oaks do have runners at second and third now. And, you know, with 2 outs, it does put more pressure on Landon West. He's got to get a base hit to score that run.
So 1-0 to West as he looks at a ball upstairs. So the Oaks just looking to add to this lead, 4-2. 2-0 to Landon West. Looks at a strike in the outer part of the zone. Now 2-1. Yeah, you'd be right, Sam. It'd be back-to-back innings. The Bombers are able to keep guys stranded. The 2-1 to West. Looks at a ball in the dirt. Now 3-1.
Certainly a lot of pressure that both the Bombers and Oaks have faced these past couple innings, but Oaks have a chance to take advantage.
3-1 to West. So he drives a ground ball. It's going to hit off the third baseman, Bonneheim, and it's going to bring home Kendlinger. As it's an RBI for West, his first of the season. Extends the Oaks lead to now 5-2. Oaks here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, that was an unfortunate hop that Bonham had to take there at third base. He saw that ball hit basically right against his stomach, and kind of tough to tell in real time exactly where it hit, but where it hit, it had enough momentum that it just, the ball just skipped away from him and was also tailing away from Williams, and the Oaks have a runner in. It's 5-2.
So it's Tyler Hawley up to the plate for the third time today. 1 for 1. Had the single back in the third inning and was able to advance to third base off an error. Walked his first time at the plate, so runners at the corner for the Oaks. 1-0 pitch to Hawley here. Swing and a miss. Now 1-1. Ethan Gonzalez on third base, Landon West on first. 2 outs for the Bombers. The 1-1 to Hawley. Swing and a miss. 1-2. So Atlee potentially able to get out of this inning, just allowing 1 run. The 1-2. Low and outside for a ball. Now 2-2.
Yeah, the Oaks, they've been able to capitalize on that wild pitch that allowed Kenlinger to go from all the way from first to third, as they had failed to capitalize on the error in center field after Hawley's hit last inning.
Swing and a miss for Hawley. It's the second strikeout for Atlee as he's able to get out of the inning, just allowing 1 run. We head to the top of the 5th inning. The Oaks lead 5-2. We head into the top of the 5th inning as it's the first pitching change for the Oaks. Damon Villa now making his 6th appearance, posting a 2.84 ERA in the 5 games that he's played. Pitched a total of 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, allowed 3 walks and 8 hits. It's Christian Santiago who looks at a ball outside.
Yeah, Villa was last seen last Wednesday in the Oaks' 10-7 victory over the Arroyo Seco Saints. He pitched 1 inning, he struck out 2, allowed just 1 run on 2 hits, 1 walk, faced 6 batters.
Santiago pops that foul off to the left. Santiago 1 for 1 on the day with a single as well as a run. It was the first run scored back in the 3rd inning for the Bombers. The 1-1 looks at a ball upstairs and outside. Count now 2-1. Due up next is Griffin Zitko, as the Bombers will look to try to get more runs of their own as they trail 5-2. Santiago raises a fly ball into center field, and Kenlinger just going to move in front of him to make the play. It's now 1 out. Brings up Griffin Zitko.
Well, Damon Villa, one of the players who was part of the 2024 Conejo Oaks championship team. As Zitko gets his 2nd plate appearance, he walked his first time up.
Looks at a strike low and outside. Count now 0-1. Yeah, Zitko was also brought home by Micah Rocha as he looks at strike 2. Now 0-2. Due up next is back to the top of the order for the Bombers, Thomas Williams. The payoff from Villa. Swing and a miss. A 3-pitch strike by Villa gets the 2nd out.
Well, Damon Villa making quick work of this 4th inning. Retires Santiago and Zitko in very efficient fashion.
So back to the top of the order, Thomas Williams, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Singled back in the 2nd inning. Struck out his first time at the plate as he looks at a ball high and outside. Looks at a strike just across the plate at 1-1. It's the count now.
Yeah, Thomas Williams, he was the 4th batter to reach base in the 3rd inning. His hit, if not for the caught stealing, would have brought home a run.
1-1. Swing and a miss for Thomas.
And if not for the caught stealing, the Bombers could have been out in front. Who knows?
It's now 1-2. Yeah, it was Dylan Fishbow who led off with a single, but then, yeah, was caught stealing. Was a productive, but definitely more. 1-2 now to Williams. It's in the dirt for another ball, 2-2. Villa, a now graduate student, spent his sophomore year at Moore Park, his freshman year at Oxnard College. Count even at 2, the payoff from Villa. As that's chopped just foul to the right side. Count remains even at 2. So the Bombers' last win came back on June 17th in a 4-3 defeat of the Academy Barons. And their 2nd win, or I should say their first ever win, came on opening day, June 5th versus the Riptide, 7-3. Count even at 2. The payoff from Villa. That's driven straight into center field for a base hit, as Thomas keeps the Bombers alive here in the 5th inning with a single.
Well, that was a solid frozen rope right up the middle by Williams. One of those hits that I think early on in your batting career, and I'm talking when you first start to play competitive baseball, starts to feel really good, but certainly A well-struck ball, and the Bombers have a chance to do some two-out damage.
So now Lucas Bonham up for his third time today. Looks an off-speed strike. Now 0-1. Bonham advanced on a fielder's choice that did bring home Christian Santiago for the first run of the Bombers in the third inning. As he chomps one to third base, Holly is going to keep it fair as he hits it. It almost looked like Holly kind of took the play off, but he kept the ball certainly alive, and Ethan Gonzalez able to get over there and hold Thomas at second base.
Yeah, we'll see if the Bombers can capitalize on that. Yeah, Holly, that ball kind of like right at the line and just kind of rocked it away from the infield and into foul territory, but the ball was already touched fair at that point.
I mean, the positive note of that, if he did just let it keep rolling, it would have round up into left field, which potentially could have brought home Williams for a run. Just knowing his quickness on the bags. So it's Michael Rocha. As runners off they go. Williams tries to get to third. The throw is not in time. But I will say, from our perspective, it looked like Galloway's throw to third base got Thomas right before he got to third base.
I mean, the throw was certainly principally on time. I think it was a question of whether Holly actually tagged the foot of Williams before he touched the base. I mean, it was a bang-bang play.
So a stolen base for Williams. Bonham also advances to second base, and 0-1 to Rocha. He takes a strike, now 0-2. So runners on second and third for the Bombers. 2 outs, an 0-2 pitch here from Villa. It's in the dirt for a ball now, 1-2. Here comes the payoff from Villa. He lines a fly ball into left field. Jimenez goes back to the warning track, not able to make the play as he's now collects it at the left field fence. It's a 2 RBI double for Rocha now with just 1 run separating the Bombers and the Oaks in the top of the 5th inning.
Boy, what a big hit for Rocha. He got the barrel of the bat out onto that ball. The ball looked like it was on the outer half of the plate, and he's able to stay out in front of it and get it in the air to left. And Jimenez, did his best to track it down, was not able to get that glove on it. And 2 runs score for the Bombers. It's 5-4 Oaks.
So Rocha clears the bases with his double. Leads way to Jeremy Jones, the right fielder. And a swing of the bat by Jones could take the Bombers' first lead of the game. As he chomps that foul off to the right. Count out 0-2. Well, the Oaks jumped out to a 4-0 lead by the second inning. But slowly but surely, the Bombers have chipped away with 2 runs in the third and now 2 runs in the 5th as that's chopped to first base. West is going to get over. He's going to pitch it to Villa just in time to get the third out. But the Bombers, with another response in the 5th inning, now has it just a 1-score game. Oaks leading 5-4. head to the bottom of the 5th inning here at George Sparky Anderson Field as we have a good one on tap here on a Wednesday evening in the California Collegiate League. It's the Oaks leading 5-4 alongside Sammy Fawn. I'm Judo Canius. And it's the 7-8-9 for the Oaks in the bottom of the fifth to get things started. It's Jax Jimenez. So he fouls that straight back. 0-1. Well, it was another two-run inning performance from the Bombers in the 5th inning to make it a one-score game. It was a 2 RBI double by Michael Rocha, the designated hitter. As Jude Atlee begins now his 2nd inning of action. Allowed 1 run in the 4th inning. As Jimenez takes the ball outside, count now 1-1.
Jimenez had a 2 RBI single back in the 1st inning, responsible of 2 of the 5 runs for the Oaks.
Swing and a miss for Jimenez, count now even at 2. As Jimenez was responsible for an error out in left field. 2-2 to Jimenez. Looks at the ball low and outside. He made a good attempt out there in left field to get the fly ball hit by Rocha. Just couldn't glove it. So now a full count here for Jimenez. Swing and a miss. As Jude Atlee gets now his 3rd strikeout of the day. And it's now back-to-back.
Oh, clutch relief pitching there by Atlee, who came on in the 4th inning and shut the Oaks down after, or allowed just 1 unearned run following the error at 3rd base.
So Isaac Veal to the plate for his 3rd time today. He's 0 for 2. He shows bunt. He's able to lay it down, but Atlee gets under it. His throw is in time to Alan Chu on first base to get the 2nd out.
Well, nice reflex play there by Jude Atlee, and Veal, a guy who can run. The bunt was, not as dangerous as you would like it, but big 2nd out for the Bombers, and they're only chasing 1 run following the top of the 5th.
Jonah Dawson at the plate. So he takes a strike in the inner half. Count 0-1. So it's 3 straight batters for Atlee as that ball's in the dirt. 1-1. Dawson 0 for 2 today. He's grounded out both times to second base. 1-1 to Dawson. Looks at the ball low, 2-1. It's Kenlinger due up next for the Oaks.
Top of the order, certainly some bats that the Oaks would love to keep on rolling.
2-1. Another ball low and outside. Count now 3-1 to Dawson, who's batting .208 on the season, has 4 runs, 5 hits, 4 RBIs, and 4 walks. As it's now a mound visit from the skipper of the Bombers. And it's a full infield visit. And there's no action in the bullpen, but I see what happens here. It's actually 2 coaches from the Bombers now meeting at the mound with Atlee. And so there is a pitching change for the Bombers, as it looks like Atlee actually might be a little injured.
Oof, yeah, he looks a little shaken up. Hope he's okay for sure.
But we will take a break as it's now the 3rd pitching change for the Bombers. Oaks leading 5-4. We bring you back to George Sparky Anderson Field in the bottom of the 5th inning as it's the 3rd pitching change. Jude Atlee's day is over, and it's River Diaz de Leon. Quite the name here.
Yeah, and Jude Atlee really seemed shaken up, as I believe it was Scott Stanley, the head coach, and Bennett Perry, the pitching coach, who went to check on him. And he looked really shaken up.
Yeah, he now has an ice around his right elbow. It's a full count. Dawson hits a ground ball to shortstop as Williams gets under it. His throw is in time for out 3. And it's just 1 pitch, 1 out for Diaz de Leon, and we head to the top of the 6th inning. The Oaks ahead 5-4. Head to the top of the 6th inning as it's the 2nd pitching change for the Oaks. It's Chris Lozano now on the mound, making his 4th appearance as a 1-0 record, posting a 3.85 ERA in 2 innings pitched, 1 strikeout, and allowed 5 hits. Last appeared on June 28th versus the Riptide, and the Oaks walk-off 11th inning win. Appeared just in less than an inning, faced only 1 batter. As it's James Theodore up for his 3rd time today. He's 0 for 2. 0-1. Theodore chops one to shortstop. Gonzalez is going to collect, fires to first. The throw is in time as it gets the first out. And I know, just thinking more about that injury that we saw Jude Atlee, can't think but nothing but the best. And if it is worst case scenario, just hope that everything with recovery and the process goes all well. I mean, especially at such a young age, and a pitcher where you use so much of your arm, and it's pretty much your money maker, to have that potentially be taken away as Alan Shu fouls that one off his foot. Count now 0-1, but I mean, especially at just a young age that Atlee is, to, like I said, lose your moneymaker pretty much. That's a tough one.
It's tough. I think the toughest part is, just being an athlete. Injuries are going to be inevitable at one point, but, especially like you just throw a pitch. It's always last thing you want to do is get injured as a result of a pitch or, whatever exactly it was. But yeah, like we said, nothing but the best for Atlee.
So it's pinch hitter Minso Jang now replacing Alan Chu. So he takes the ball outside. Count now 1-2. So the payoff here from Lozano. It's chop foul off to the left. Minso Jang, a junior at NYU, has appeared in 4 games. Has 4 total at-bats with 1 run, 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Last appeared on June 22nd versus the Riptide in the 3-4 loss. See, just hits that foul off to the left. He's originally from Seoul, South Korea.
Which happens to be the largest city and also the capital in South Korea.
Spent time at IMG Academy. The 1-2 to Jang. Swing and a miss. Down goes Jang, and it's the first strikeout of the day for Lozano. So 2 batters, 2 down for the Bombers here in the 6th inning.
Bombers definitely still in this game. Just a 1-run lead for the Oaks, 5-4. Anything could happen.
So Dylan Fishbow up now for his 3rd time today. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a pop out to center field as he takes a ball low and inside. And Lozano, a senior at UC Riverside, made 9 appearances in 2025. 1-0. It's upstairs for a ball. He pitched in 12 total innings, allowed 21 hits, 15 earned runs, 5 walks, had 8 strikeouts. His longest outing was 3 innings against UC Santa Barbara on April 12th. As that one's chopped foul. And I think it hit Galloway kind of in the shin as he's kind of having to walk this one off.
Yeah, where at him looks like he really has to kind of walk it out. He walked out to the mound.
Yeah, and it hit him in the jujubes.
Not sure I've heard that one before.
Well, it's a family-friendly broadcast.
Yeah.
So 2-1 to Fishbow. As Galloway is back behind the dish. 2-1. Lozano deals outside for a ball, now 2-2. Well, the Oaks would like to get a win right here and not go on a 3-game skid. They've lost back-to-back games as that is a pop fly into foul territory off to the right. Veal makes his best attempt to get over there, but it's going to fly over the foul territory fence on the right side. It's now up to a full count for Fishbow. So an opportunity for Lozano to retire the side. Here comes the payoff. That's grounded right past Jonah Dawson into center field, or right field, as it's a 2-out single from Dylan Fishbow. Bringing up Christian Santiago, who is 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a fly out to center field.
Well, we saw the Bombers work some 2-out magic last inning in the 5th after first 2 batters were retired, and then there was a single and then an error at third, and after a double steal, a 2 RBI double from Mikey Rocha.
Santiago batting .250 on the season. 1-0 pitch. Hits a fly high ball straight back behind the field. Count now 1-1. So 2 outs, just a runner on first for the Bombers as Dylan Fishbow. As it's a check at first base. Fishbow gets back safely. It's Griffin Zitko on deck for the Bombers, but a 1-1 pitch to Santiago. Pushes a fly ball into left field. Back goes Gonzalez to make the play, and he's able to cup it for the 3rd out. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning and Lozano leaves one stranded. We'll be right back. And it's the 1-2-3 for the Oaks to get things started in the bottom of the 6th inning as they hold a 5-4 lead. It's been a good one here at George Sparky Anderson Field as the Oaks looking to snap a 2-game losing streak, but the San Diego Bombers also looking to snap a 3-game losing streak as Tommy Kendlinger takes a ball outside. It's River Diaz de Leon. And for his first real inning of action, came in as the pinch hit, or the relief pitcher, I should say, for Jude Atlee, as that's fouled off to the right.
Yeah, Diaz de Leon just threw one pitch to get Jonah Dawson to ground out as he had to come in mid at bat after Atlee had to exit with an injury.
Kendlinger takes a strike. Count now 1-2. Diaz de Leon, a sophomore currently in the portal. As that's outside for a ball. Count now 2-2. Well, he played at San Francisco State University, but actually since pretty much this spring, they have now cut the baseball program out of the school athletics, meaning he had to hit the portal. So in 2025, he had a 3.78 ERA, 2 wins, 0 losses, and 12 appearances. The 2-2 is poked into right field for a base hit as Kendlinger gets a single leadoff.
It's his second hit of the day. He's now 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a walk and a hit by pitch. And for him to stay in there, especially after you saw him get hit right in the sunglasses, which broke off and then caused his face to bleed a little bit. Fortunately for him, his injury was not serious enough to get him out of there.
Now it's Ethan Gonzalez up, who's 1 for 2 on the day. He takes a strike. Has 2 stolen bases and a walk. Left stranded both times on the bags. 0-1 to Gonzalez. Takes a ball outside, now 1-1. So the Oaks certainly want to add more to what is just a narrow 1-run lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-1 to Gonzalez. Takes a ball upstairs, 2-1.
And the Oaks still with the 1 run, a 5-4 lead. But I'll tell you, no lead is safe, and we have seen that come true plenty of times this season.
Gonzalez fouls that straight back. Now 2-1, 2-2. Yeah, we just saw yesterday the Oaks were leading 1-0 for 5 innings versus the Foresters. The Foresters added a run in the 6th inning. Both teams got a run in the 8th, make it 2-2. So there's a check at first. Kendlinger slides back safely, and then it was 2 runs in the top of the 9th inning by the Foresters that eventually led to them winning the game. It was, as off goes Kendlinger, he slides in safely. So he gets his now 6th stolen base of the season, his 2nd of the day.
Well, just a great jump there by Kendlinger and a pretty good throw by Zitko, a little bit high, and Kendlinger, he's able to slide in there. He's gotten dirty plenty of times today.
Full count to Gonzalez. Pokes one into center field, or no, I apologize. That's straight into the glove of Thomas Williams for the first out.
Yeah, it had the height to go to center field, but it was a little too high and just hung up on the infield.
So 1 down brings up Jacob Galloway as Kendlinger still at second base. Galloway is 1 for 3 on the day with 2 RBIs and a stolen base. Responsible for 2 of the 5 runs the Oaks have scored today. The first pitch from De Leon. Galloway lifts a fly ball out into right field. Back goes Jones as he's able to make the play. Kendlinger tags on from second base. He's going to get to third, standing up.
Big arm from Jones in right field, but it's not enough.
So Galloway advances Kendlinger, but it is the 2nd out of the inning for the Bombers. Leads away to Nolan Johnson.
Well, that just goes to show you how big that pop fly out was. I mean, if Kendlinger moves to third on that first out, if he's able to advance in any way, then he would have scored on that sac fly, or on that fly ball.
Johnson struck out his last time at the plate as he takes a ball low. He's walked and advanced via fielder choice in the first inning as he looks at a ball outside. Johnson playing DH today. We've seen him at first base as well as behind the dish. 2-0 to Johnson. Swing and a miss. Now 2-1. So the Oaks just 90 feet away from increasing their lead to 2. Swinging the bat by Johnson could make it a 3-run game. 2-1. Looks at another ball low. Count now 3-1. As it's Landon West due up next. 3-1 to Johnson. Chomps that short. Williams is charging towards it. His throw is in time to get the 3rd out. Leaves Kendlinger stranded at third, and we head to the top of the 7th inning. Just a 1-run lead for the Oaks, 5-4. And we are 2/3 through this game as the Oaks leading 5-4 here at George Sparky Anderson Field alongside Sammy Fawn. I'm Judo Canius. We got a good one in store for these last 3 innings as it's Chris Lozano back on the mound. And the bottom of the order, Griffin Zitko get things started for the Bombers as they trail just 1 run. He looks at a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, it's been a 1-run game for the last couple innings ever since that 2-run 5th inning for the Bombers. They scored 2 off a double to left field. Certainly made this game close.
Zitko fouls that off to the back. Now down on the count 0-2. Due up next is Thomas Williams, the top of the order, and Lucas Bonham for the Bombers. Lozano gets himself a new ball, throws it off to the Oaks dugout. And currently the Oaks sitting in 2nd place, 3 games behind the 15-4 Santa Barbara Foresters. 0-2 outside. 1-2.
Zitko is yet to get a hit. He walked his first time up.
Zitko fouls that off to the right. 1-2. Lozano, another player that played for the Caneo Oaks in 2024, played in 9 games, had a 4.15 ERA. The 1-2 pitch. And they said he went around for the 2nd strikeout for Lozano, as it's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, he definitely committed right there. You saw the bat sort of wiggle through the zone, and first out of the inning for Lozano and the Oaks.
So it's now Thomas Williams, the senior from Texas Rio Grande Valley University. He's 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles and a run as that misses outside for a ball. 1-0. San Diego Wave currently in 5th place in the South Division. 1-1. Now 2-0.
The Wave's second Wave mascot I know, of course, the first being Pepperdine over in Malibu.
Williams pushes a fly ball on the left field. Jimenez moves all the way over to his right in foul territory and gets the out. As his momentum takes him into the fence. As it's 2 retired in this inning by Lozano, brings up Lucas Bonham.
Yeah, Chris Lozano, he has been efficient these last couple innings. He allowed just 1 base runner, 1 hit in the 6th inning. There's a chance to keep the Bombers offense quiet.
Bonham takes a strike on the outside. Actually, I do apologize. The Bombers are actually in 8th place. Or 7th place, I do apologize. The Wave are in 5th place. 0-1. Takes the ball outside now, 1-1. So 1-1 count to Bonham. Chomps 1 to 3rd. Holly's going to get under it in time. His throw is well in time for the 3rd out. So Lozano retires the side. And we'll take a quick stretch as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 7th inning. Head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Still just a 1-run lead for the Oaks as a 5-4 lead. But the Bombers not going away easy as River Diaz de Leon begins his 2nd inning of action. It's Landon West at the plate first. So he takes a strike on the outside, a 69 mile per hour off-speed pitch. So 0-1. West looks at the ball in the dirt now, 1-1.
Well, we saw Landon West reach bases last time up on a hard hit ball to third that just skipped right off the body of Lucas Bonham and led to a run. It's the most recent run for the Oaks.
Swing and a miss. Now 1-2 as it's Tyler Hawley due up next for the Oaks. But we've already talked about it, but the Oaks are going to want to add more insurance to get the win here. 1-2. Johnson, as that's driven into left field side. That was West who pushed the fly ball out there, and it's Theodore out in left field to make the play.
Well, River Diaz de Leon has certainly gotten some very productive outs as he came in mid-at-bat against Jonah Dawson, threw 1 pitch, and then faced 4 batters in the 6th inning, allowed just 1 hit to Kenlinger. And he has been keeping the Bombers in this game.
So Tyler Hawley now at the plate for his 4th time today. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Hawley 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a strikeout, as well as a walk. The Oaks had an opportunity with him at third base as he fouls that straight back. Count out 0-2. He had a single that turned into a triple off an error in the outfield from Dylan Fishbow. But 3 straight retired batters in the 3rd inning did not bring him home. The 0-2 now to Hawley. Pushes a fly ball into right field. It's going to foul.
Landed right in that little facilities box right beyond the fence.
So 0-2 to Hawley. The payoff pitch from De Leon. It's outside for a ball. 1-2. One, 2 to Hawley. Here's the pitch. He pushes a fly ball out into left center field, and then Fishbow's over there to make the play for the 2nd out. Now brings up Jax Jimenez, who has started off with a 2 RBI single back in the 1st inning and since has struck out his last 2 times at the plate. But the Oaks could use one of his powerful swings here. Looks at a ball low and outside.
It was just 1 week ago against the Arroyo Seco Saints when he blasted his home run over the right field fence.
He fouls that straight to the backstop. Now 1-1.
Yeah, and that home run, as we've talked about, was projected at 409 feet, but that's only the distance from where he hit it to where it hit against the screen out in right field.
Jimenez lifts a fly ball out into right field as Santiago is going to make the play out in shallow right center field for the 3rd out. As De Leon retires the side, we head to the top of the 8th inning. The Oaks just lead 5-4. It's down to final 2 innings here at George Sparky Anderson Field as the Bombers are up first in the top of the 8th inning as they trail 5-4. It's Michael Rocha up first. It's now the 3rd pitching change for the Oaks as it's Spencer Kratt on the mound now as he's now making his 5th appearance this summer. Has a 1-0 record, posted a 3.37 ERA in 4 games. The 1-0.
Last time we saw Spencer Kratt was this past Saturday in the 7-6 win against the Orange County Riptide. He threw a couple innings, did allow 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out a batter and walked 1.
Outside for another ball. (3-0) as it's low for ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to start things in the top of the 8th inning. It's now the only 2nd walk allowed this season by Kratt.
Well, for the Bombers, that puts potential tying run at first base.
Jeremy Jones now at the plate, the left-handed hitter who was 0 for 3 on the day, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. As he shows bunt and he's going to foul that off to the left.
That would be a good idea here to, bunt to get that runner over. Anything you can to get that tying run into scoring position, especially with nobody out, right? You want the little things, they go a long way.
Yeah, they certainly do. And in just a 1-run game, little things could add up to being game-defining plays. It's an 0-1 to Jones. Shows bunt. Takes the ball low. Count now 1-1. Well, due up next is James Theodore. It's a 1-1 count to Jones. Shows bunt again. He's going to lay it off to the left side, and Hawley's able to get under it. His throw is in time to West as it gets the first out, but like you said, Sammy, it does advance the runner there, which is Michael Rocha.
Yeah, great execution on the sacrifice by Jeremy Jones. Bunted to the left side, and Hawley had to fire that thing in kind of a hurry. He is able to get the force. Of course, it's not a force play, double play scenario for the Oaks, as a base hit to the outfield could tie this game.
It's now Gianluca Finelli out of Vista, California, as the pinch hitter for James Theodore. Runner on second for the Bombers. He shows bunt, but he pulls back and takes the strike on the outside. So the Bombers now in scoring position is Gianluca Finelli up for his first time today. The 0-1 from Kratt. Finelli lines that down the left field line. As that's going to bring home Rocha, and it's going to be a RBI double from Finelli in his first plate appearance to tie the game here at George Sparky Anderson Field. We're tied at 5.
Well, James Theodore
Gianluca Finelli. No, you're good.
I beg your pardon. Yeah, Gianluca Finelli. He delivers for the Bombers what they've been waiting for 3 innings now, as they had scored 2 runs in the 5th, and for the next 3 innings just kept it at a 1-run game, and now the game is tied.
So it's back to a runner on second, as it's Minso Jang up for his second time today. He struck out his first plate appearance. 1-0. Runner on second for the Bombers. Just 1 out. Chang takes the ball upstairs and in.
Yeah, we saw Seo Jang pinch hit for Alan Chu back in the 6th inning, and second time we've seen a game with the Oaks and the Bombers where Chu was pinch hit for.
So the 2-0 to Jang. Looks at a strike outside. Now 2-1 for the Bombers, as Finelli does not have a stolen base on the season. He's played in 7 games. 2-1 to Jang. Takes a strike inside. Count now 2-2, as Kratt has now worked from a 2-0 to 2-2 count. As Christian Santiago or Dylan Fishbow is due up next. 2-2. Takes the ball low, now up to a full count. So the Oaks were in early control of this game, but inning by inning, the Bombers have chipped away, and now it's a tie game here, 5-5. So it's a full count to Jang. Swing and a miss. Down goes Jang as Kraut gets his first strikeout. So it gets the second out of the inning, bringing up Dylan Fishbow.
Yeah, Kraut made Jang kind of spin around with that swing, but, you know, Kraut, he's had an up and down summer so far. He's had a couple outings where he hasn't given up a run, you know, and he had that sort of rough outing against the Saints where he allowed 3 runs, allowed 2 runs against the Riptide. They ended up winning that game, but, you know, 1 run to tie it here.
Fishbow takes a ball on the first pitch, 1-0. Fishbow's 2 for 3 on the day. 2 singles, 1-0. Chops that foul off to the left. Runner on second is Finelli for the Bombers. 2 outs, the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Now 1-2 to Fishbow. An opportunity for Kratt to just get out of this inning, allowing 1 run.
And the Bombers, they got some pressure on them, pressure on the Oaks as well. A chance to take the lead.
1-2. That's in the dirt as Galloway quickly gets up and recovers the ball. Count now even at 2. Fishbow with 2 RBIs on the season. The payoff from Kratt. Chops that foul off to the left. Count remains 2-2.
Fishbow is putting up a good at-bat against Spencer Kratt here, really making him work as the Bombers have done this inning.
So 2-2. Runner on second for the Bombers. The payoff from Kratt. Swing and a miss. Down goes Fishbow. The back-to-back strikeouts for Kratt. Gets the Oaks out of the inning. But the Bombers able to add 1 more to tie it 5-5. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Welcome back to George Sparky Anderson Field as the game is all even at 5 apiece. As the Yokes and the Bombers in a great game here, as it's a midweek matchup in the California Collegiate League. Alongside Sammy Fawn, I'm Judo Canias, and it's Isaac Veal at the plate first. He's 0 for 3 today as he takes a strike outside. Count 0-1. Well, it was an RBI double by James Theodore in the top of the 8th inning to bring home Michael Rocha, as that is chopped foul off to the left, which set up the tying run. So 0-2 here to Veal. The Yokes just with 6 more outs to win this game. It's low for a ball, count 1-2.
And as it is currently tied here in the bottom of the 8th, the Oaks with a chance to score here, and if they hold the Bombers at bay after scoring, prevent a bottom of the 9th from happening.
Veal gets a piece of that, rips that into right field. Back goes Jones for the grab, and he makes it. Gets the first out.
That's a nice running grab there by Jones. He tracked that one very well off the bat and reached his glove out to reach up and snag it.
Brings up Jonah Dawson for the 4th time today. He's grounded out all 3 appearances. Takes a strike. 0-1. Well, the Yokes were tied in the 8th inning of yesterday's game, as it's now a 1-1 count. That game was squared at 2 apiece heading into the 9th inning. Forster scored 2 and eventually won the game. Now 1-1 to Dawson. Hits a fly ball out into left field. Theodore tries to get over and make the play, and he does, as he shows off the range in left center field. And now 2 down for the Oaks.
A nice play there by the way, Gianluca Finelli out in left field after he had pinch hit for Theodore. But yeah, just some very good outfield range for the Bombers.
So brings up Tommy Kenlinger, who has 3 runs on the day as he looks at a ball low. Well, he's 2 for 2 with a walk and a hit by pitch, as well as 2 stolen bases in those 3 runs. 1-0 to Kenlinger. Swing and a miss. Now 1-1. So the Bombers showing lots of prowess in this game here versus the Yokes. It's a 1-1 pitch to Kenlinger. Looks at a ball in the dirt, 2-1. So 2 outs for the Bombers. It's a 2-1 count to Kenlinger. Takes a strike on the outside. Count now 2-2.
Kenlinger, he's reached base every single time he's come up to the plate.
The payoff from De Leon. Kenlinger grounds one to second base. Santiago picks up it on the hop and gets the throw in time. As De Leon retires the side for a 2nd straight inning, we head to the top of the 9th, as it's an even ball game at 5. It's the 8-9-1 batters for the San Diego Bombers as they look to try to steal a game on the road versus the Conejo Oaks. It's a 5-5 ball game. It's Christian Santiago up first as he is 1 for 3 on the day with a single as well as a run. He's popped out his last 2 plate appearances to short and center field as he looks at a strike on the outside 0-1. Griffin Zitko due up next for the Bombers. Bombers trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. The 0-1. Santiago tips that foul. Now 0-2.
The Bombers, they tied the game in the top of the 8th inning. After a long, 3 innings after they had made it a 1-run game.
That's high for a ball. Now 1-2 to Santiago. The payoff from Kratt. Pushes a high fly ball into center field. Jimenez is going to be the one to get under it and gets the first out. So it brings up Griffin Zitko for the 4th time today. He is 0 for 2 with the pair of strikeouts, but also has a walk and a run. So Kraut deals, delivers, swing and a miss from Zitko. Now 0-1.
Zitko, he's gone down via way of the K twice.
0-1. Looks at another strike on the outside, 0-2. The payoff from Kratt. That one's lined down the middle as not able to get it is Jonah Dawson, and it'll be a base hit for Griffin Zitko with 1 out.
Oh, Griffin Zitko hit that just hard enough to get up the middle. Dawson got the tip of his glove on that ball, but could not hang on to the baseball. And so Zitko is aboard with 1 out.
Yeah, even if he got it, it would have been a tough play, especially just the position he was in to get the throw at first. But 1 runner on brings us to the top of the order, Thomas Williams. So he looks at a strike in the inside, 0-1. Zitko, no stolen bases on the season thus far. 0-1 to Williams. Swing and a miss. Now 0-2. Williams is 2 for 4 today. 2 singles and a run and a strikeout. Popped out to left field in the 7th inning, the 0-2. Low and outside for a ball. Now 1-2 to Williams.
Yeah, Williams, he's a guy that can drive the ball well, and he has great speed as well. This is a chance for him to come through here.
The payoff from Kratt. Williams just fouls that off to the left. So count remains 1-2 with Lucas Bonham due up next. Bombers also trying to get their first win in the season versus the Oaks. Only faced off against each other just once before in a 10-4 win for the Oaks back on June 8th. The 1-2, Williams chomps that to second. Dawson pitches over to Gonzalez. They're going to try a turn for 2. They can! It's a 4-6-3 play to get out of the inning as we head to the bottom of the 9th. An opportunity for the Oaks to walk it off. And it's down to the bottom of the 9th inning as the Oaks and the Bombers are tied at 5 runs apiece.
The Oaks so far with 2 walk-off victories this year. It was the Tommy Kenlinger walk-off single that was a couple of weekends ago.
It's Ethan Gonzalez first. So he looks at a strike inside. It'll be Gonzalez, Galloway, and Nolan Johnson all up for the Oaks first as it's an 0-1 count to Gonzalez. Takes the ball upstairs. Now 1-1, and it's River Diaz de Leon now beginning his 4th inning of action. He's retired the side in the last 2 innings. 1-1. Another ball low. It's 2-1 to Gonzalez.
Yeah, River Diaz de Leon really giving the Bombers more than they could ask for. Has not allowed a run.
2-1 to Gonzalez. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Yeah, 3 shutout innings, and of course he came on in the middle of Jonah Dawson's at bat back in the 5th inning when Jude Atley had to walk off with an injury.
2-2 to Gonzalez. Chops that just foul off to the left. Count remains even at 2. The payoff here. Just inside for a ball. Count now full. De Leon went with the off speed and couldn't quite get it into the zone. The payoff from De Leon. It's upstairs for a ball 4, and Gonzalez will take a walk to first as it's a leadoff walk to get things started in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, if you're Gonzalez, that's exactly what you want to do right there. Make River Diaz de Leon work. And, you know, he worked the count full and got a leadoff walk. And, you know, that's the first walk allowed by River Diaz de Leon. He's been pitching outstanding today, but can he hold it together in this bottom of the 9th inning?
Jacob Galloway, who is 1 for 4 on the day with 2 RBIs already. Up first. Takes a fastball inside. 1-0. As it's now a meeting at the mound. Potentially the last ball that we see De Leon throw today, as there is action in the Bombers bullpen. And it's an infield meeting, as it's a 1-0 count to Galloway. Well, yeah, like you mentioned, it's been 2 walk-off performances, and De Leon's going to stay on the mound. As Zico has a few extra words for his pitcher. Yeah, most recently a walk-off in the 11th inning back on, or last Saturday. To defeat the Riptide 7-6. So a 1-0 pitch to Galloway here. Ethan Gonzalez on first base. It's outside for ball 2. Now 2-0 to Galloway, and Gonzalez, already with 2 stolen bases on the day, is up to 4 stolen bases on the season. To Galloway. Takes another ball outside. Counts now 3-0. And it's a hitter's pitch right here. And we know Galloway certainly has the power to take one beyond the fences. Already 1 home run on the season as the check at first base. Gonzalez slides back safely. (3-0) to Galloway. Takes ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. As it's back-to-back walks to begin the 9th inning. As there's now 1 runner in scoring position to bring up Nolan Johnson.
Well,
for the Oaks.
It's not something you want to do as a pitcher in the bottom of the 9th with a tie game and the winning run now in scoring position. Walk the first 2 batters, and now all it takes for Johnson to end this game would be a single to the outfield, and it looks like we are going to have a pitching change here.
And so while the Bombers make a pitching change, we'll take a quick break. The Oaks and Bombers tied at 5, but the Oaks threatening with an opportunity to win it. We'll be right back. We're back here at George Sparky Anderson Field as the Oaks in prime position to potentially walk it off for the 3rd time this season. It's a even ball game at 5 apiece, but runners on first and second with Gonzalez at second, Galloway at first. It's Nolan Johnson at the plate, and Willis Lacey now the pitcher for the San Diego Bombers on the mound, now making his 4th appearance. As Johnson shows bunt and takes a strike just on the outside. Already mentioned Gonzalez's base running. Has 2 stolen bases today, up to 4 on the season. And Galloway also another guy as the infield is encroaching in, and Johnson shows bunt. And they're going to say that it hit off his arm, and he's going to take the walk to first base, and now it's going to be quite the angry head coach for the San Diego Bombers, having quite a mouthful for home plate.
Yeah, Scott Stanley not too happy about that call, especially, I mean, in a tight ball game here, it's very close.
Yeah, that was a close call, certainly. I mean, Johnson had gone for the bunt. And I think they were calling it as a foul ball, saying it ricocheted off his bat.
Well, he's either arguing that he committed to it or that it hit the... I mean, from up here, my instinct is that it hit him, but...
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's a tough call because I think whatever was ruled by the home plate umpire almost seems like the way it probably would go. But if it does end up being a hit by pitch, it loads the bases, and all Landon West has to do is pretty much put the ball into play anywhere in the outfield, and the Oaks will get back in the win column. So the umpires having a discussion in the infield. We'll wait to see what they say. I mean, this is a huge call.
Yeah, big call either way.
I mean, regardless, still 0 outs for the Bombers, and the Oaks have certainly made good work as Gonzalez and Galloway were both walked by De Leon before he was pulled. And they're going to say, yep, he was hit by the pitch. So it's bases loaded, and head coach Stanley just not in agreement with that one. So swing of the bat here by West could...
Warning is issued.
Yeah, make sure to let him know. It is a warning. So Landon West yet without a hit this season, with an opportunity to make his first hit a impactful one. So the infield is in, as West now has to be put back into the batter's box. So bases loaded here for the Oaks. It's Landon West at the plate. He takes a strike upstairs. So 0-1 to West. Takes a ball upstairs, now 1-1. And the fans, as well as the kids, have gotten into this one.
Yeah, the electricity has come alive here at George Sparky Anderson Field.
1-1 to West, bases loaded. He fouls that to the backstop, count now 1-2. And so Willis Lacey finds himself in lots of traffic in just the second batter he's faced. So the 1-2 pitch to West. It's going to hit him in the shoulder, and that's going to bring home Ethan Gonzalez for a walk-off victory for the Caneo Oaks. They reach 13 games won as it's a hit by pitch. And Landon West going to have to shake it off before he's doused in water by his teammates.
Yeah, that's a brutal way for the Bombers to lose that game. Back-to-back hit by pitches and bases loaded. Boy, and the Oaks with their third walk-off win.
And so the Oaks snap a 2-game losing streak off a hit by pitch. And we'll bring you here into the booth as... Well, Sammy, it was a much needed win that the Oaks needed to get. Obviously snapping a losing streak, but also a game where the Bombers kind of were the inferior team. They came into this game 2-8. It was a game that, the Oaks kind of started off with a 4-0 lead in the second inning. Looked like they had control. The Bombers, chipped away, and they eventually made it an even ball game at 5, but the Oaks able to respond.
Yeah, the Bombers, they definitely made it interesting. They were never out of this game, truly. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at that 5th inning, it was 5-2 at the start of the inning, and Mikey Rocha hits the big 2 RBI double to make it a 1-run game. And then, you look at the bottom of, or the top of that 8th inning, Gianluca Finelli comes off the bench and delivers the big RBI double to tie the game. And then you got to give credit to River Diaz de Leon on the mound as well. I mean, he is the losing pitcher. He had a rough 9th inning where he walked 2 batters. And by the way, those were all free passes. 2 walks and 2 hit by pitches. But I mean, you got to give him credit coming in the 5th inning in the middle of an inning, ended up going 3 1/3 plus. Yeah. Because he came in the 9th inning, couldn't record an out. I mean, he pitched outstanding. It's it's unfortunate that the L for him goes to him, but the Oaks, they finished strong, and that inning, and I think all the drama really unfolded in that borderline hit by pitch call, that was called on Nolan Johnson. And you could certainly argue it, but I mean, there were still 0 outs. The Oaks were still, batting around pretty much. They were getting their guys on base. But they improved to 13-7, and we'll be back here for a 4th of July special where they host the Philippines baseball group at 4 p.m. here at George Sparky Anderson Field alongside Sammy Fawn. I'm Gio Conyuson for the rest of our Caneo Oaks crew.